So here I am in Liverpool, and the thing I love most about this job is getting out and about and meeting local communities campaigning to protect their environment. I was up here in Liverpool last summer at a public meeting talking about climate change and other environmental issues, and that's when I first heard about this community campaign to save Rimrose Valley, a beautiful green park in North Liverpool that was created with public money just a couple of decades ago, loved by local people. And I was shown plans by the highways agency to put a road, a dual carriageway, right along the length of this beautiful green space. I was shocked, I was appalled that this could happen. And I vowed that next time I came to Liverpool, I'd come and see Rimrose Valley and find out more about it myself. So here I'm also meeting Ian MONCUR, who's one of the local councillors. Ian, tell me what the strength of feeling is in the local community here.
Well, as you've seen today, Craig, the strength of feeling locally from all ages, right across the full age range, is really very strongly against the road. It couldn't be a worse position for Highways England to be proposing a road right through the middle of our country park. It's the only piece of green belt that we have in the south of SEFTON, and was created about 30 years ago with millions of pounds of public money, and the idea of destroying it to put a road through it is frankly just despicable.
What's the favourite part of Rimrose Valley for you?
The nature.
The nature?
The canal.
The canal?
I like all the animals in the water and the trees.
Fantastic. I mean, this is just from speaking to you kids now, there's so many reasons, isn't there? There's cycling, running, football, nature, animals, all the same reasons we love Rimrose Valley too, which is fantastic. Bird watching? You into bird watching? Fantastic. That's brilliant.
Dog walking?
Dog walking, yeah. It's a haven for dog walkers, isn't it?
I love everything, and I think it would be just horrible if anything gets took down here.
That's
because
it.
It would make me really sad.
We are 20 yards away from the gate to this park. There's a zebra crossing takes us over the park. It just is ridiculous really now. It would no longer be a space that we could use, you know.
And I was hearing from the local community as well, from those children, I was hearing about just how much they use the park in their spare time, they walk across it to see their grandparents and so on.
The children, they come with families, they come with nans and granddads, they have picnics, they've got dogs that they walk. Some of the children have got lots of dogs that they walk, you know. They come to just explore. Essentially, you know, it's a place where they can come. It's an open space, it's a big space, you know, get used to just going to the edge of where childhood can take you a lot of the
time. It's quite long and thin, isn't it? And
yeah.
the problem is the proposed road would go along the whole length of it.
Well,
pretty much.
the road will just basically, I think the children have said it, devastate the landscape really.
There wouldn't really be much of a park here, would there, if they build the road, really?
I think we'd be looking at a verge, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So the children could come and spend their Friday afternoons on a motorway verge, essentially, and watch the articulated lorries go by. Even in terms of the cleanliness of the air, you know, we've got the road itself already runs close enough to school. If you're then boxing it in again with a road that cuts us off at a right angle, I don't really see the logic in that. You know, for recently it's about stopping traffic by schools, you know, asking parents not to bring cars to school, but we're happy to build a road that is just basically going to confine us to north and south, basically.
That's an important point, isn't it? It's an important point. It's right to encourage parents not to kind of bring cars to school, but it makes a bit of a mockery if you then put
there's no sense to it.
A dual carriageway right there.
There's no logic to this really, and to be honest with you, I've been involved with the children in coming and helping the Rimrose Valley Friends, but logic seemed to me that don't worry about it, it's never going to happen, and yet here we are edging closer and closer to it happening.
So one of the things I've heard from the local community about Rimrose Valley is just how much it's used by the local schools to bring children down and make sure that they have some time with nature. So I just want to talk now to Josh and Ava a little bit about that. Josh, hello, how old are you?
10.
10. Very good. And tell me, how often do you come down here and what do you do when you do come down to Rimrose Valley?
Well, I come here a few times, and mostly what I do, I have picnics, I play around with people and play football, have a few bike rides. It's just in general fun.
Brilliant. And what do you like most about this park?
I like it most that there's just so much space around and that you can just do so much whenever you want. Just come around anytime.
Great. And Ava, what about you when you come down here? What is the kind of things you do at the park?
Well, I come down with my family to do a go bike riding, and I come berry picking so we can make berry pie. And I think it's really fun because we have lots of space to do these things, and yeah.
And would you have any other sort of places you could go if this park didn't exist?
No.
No. This is the one that's near your home, is it? And so on. So how do you feel, Ava? You know, you hear that there's these plans for a road that would destroy this park. What does that make you feel?
It makes me feel a bit disappointed, to be honest, because people don't want this road through it because they use this to clear their mind and they use it to have fun. If the road goes through this, then what are we going to have next? We're going to have nothing. So.
Absolutely. And Josh, tell me, at the school today, you've come here and you've hung these things on the tree. Tell me what they are.
Well, it's just our hopes and wishes for what happens to Rimrose Valley and if it can stay or not. And we've just wrote how good it is, what we want to happen with it, and how much we want it to stay.
What did you put on your wish?
I put that it deserves to be respected more for being one of the best green spaces, and that it shouldn't just be put into a road after all the years and years people have spent here.
Great. And Ava, what did you put on yours?
I put a poem to how much Rimrose Valley really cares to our people, and it matters to us more than what it is.
Okay, so I'm joined now by Nick from the Lancashire branch of CPRE. You're also, of course, strongly opposed to the proposals for this road.
Absolutely. I'm also a local resident. This is a classic bit of green wedge. It's also described as a green lung. Liverpool city region is a lovely area, and it's got all these green lungs coming into the middle and a blue lung as well. And to get rid of this is just a classic mistake, particularly pushing a road right through the middle bit. We are appalled.
And what do you think it will do for, this around traffic? There's a lot of sort of arguments, well, we need this road to deal with the traffic and so on. What do you make of all those? You've seen all the sort of intricate debates around this over time.
We were invited probably about 15 years ago to join a group set up by the Regional Development Agency, which was to look at alternative modes of transport out of the docks when it's going to be expanded. Remember, alternative modes of transport? So we were looking at everything but roads. And so we were looking across at various options, and we came up with a number of different options. But all in all, it's a combination of everything. We were horrified when that whole work disappeared, when the Regional Development Agency disappeared. Nothing was put in its place but a committee which didn't meet very often. So the whole process just went to sleep, and then suddenly, out of the blue, a road is given as the only option. When the government decided to allocate the money to the Highways Agency, we began to think they've lost the plot.
So one of the things I'm hearing a lot this morning is how this park is used so much by schools to help with delivering the curriculum. And I'm joined by Sarah, who's one of the local teachers. Sarah, which school are you from?
Our Lady Star of the Sea in Seaforth.
Okay, great. So just tell me how you use the park to help with education.
Well, we've come over for science. We've been learning about climate change, where the children are all encouraged to play their bit for the environment, to make sure they're not using single-use plastics, to make sure they're recycling paper. And living in Seaforth under the dock of Peel Port, it feels quite undermined by the government when they're planning to build a motorway through their local green space.
So you're saying there's all these things in the curriculum that are about climate change and what we need people to do to help protect the environment, and then the same government is saying, let's put a road through this.
Yeah, exactly. The only green space that they have in Seaforth, living by the docks, it's already an extremely polluted area. They've only got the small parks. This is a substantial space that they need to go cycling with family. I mean, I'm local to here myself. I come down on picnics, we come cycling, we've got a running club on here, and to think that we could be doing that next to a motorway, it just absolutely shocks me. Yeah, I mean, even the children are aware that having a new road here doesn't mean that there's going to be less cars on the road. Even they can see without prompting that it's just going to cause more traffic, more pollution, and it's sort of in their faces when they're just trying to save paper, do their little bit for the community and their little bit for the environment, when a £250 million super road is going to be built through their local space.
I know there's somebody who wanted to speak on the camera and talk about how much Rimrose means, so your teachers are going to sort of be essential, and if this is gone, we worry you won't have anywhere left to play. So go home, talk about it, and don't give up this demonstration. You're a really important part of our campaign, so thank you.
Stu, you were involved in setting up Save Rimrose Valley campaign group. Tell us about how it came about and the work you've been up to.
Yeah, well, Rimrose Valley Friends is an organisation and a charity actually that existed within the community. It was created to promote and protect this amazing park that we've got, and then pretty soon after it was formed, the road was announced. So what the charity did and what the Facebook Friends group did is put a shout out for people to come and help with the campaign. A small bunch of us got together, it grew, and then pretty soon we formulated a plan. We've worked with organisations such as yourself, Campaign for Better Transport and the Campaign to Protect Rural England, and it became pretty clear what our objectives were. Number one was to engage the local community in the fight, so events like today have been fantastic for things like that. And number two is to change the minds of those in power at Westminster. That's the harder part of the job, and that's again why it's really fantastic to have someone such as yourself here today and get this scheme on a national platform rather than it just being a local issue. The next big one is for Highways England to announce their statutory consultation. Now that could be any time soon. It was the last time we were in touch with them, they said it would be spring onwards, so obviously we're in spring now. What we're doing is building up an awareness of that and getting people to but just letting them know what to expect, whether that's getting involved in consultation events that Highways England will hold. There's an online way that people can respond as well. As soon as we understand what format that consultation will take, we'll be sharing the information with the public. But it's absolutely essential for the public and our supporters to turn out in numbers and not to get involved in discussions around what colour fencing we should have or what kind of sound barriers should be erected. Just tell them in no uncertain terms that we don't want their road. It's not welcome. It's destructive towards the environment. It's appalling for public health, and they need to go back to the drawing board, really, find more money and come back and do a sympathetic job.
So that's what we need to do when that consultation is published and opened. There is another possibility, isn't there? There is another possibility for Highways England, is they could just stop this madness now. They could say, recognise this is an appalling scheme, local community's not going to let it happen, stop this madness now. That would be an even better way.
Probably like sad.
You'd be sad?
Because like the trees get oxygen and different love having times here.
They do. These trees do give us oxygen. How about yourself?
Well, I would be devastated because Rimrose Valley is a really beautiful place with trees, and the trees also give off food, like fruit, and also oxygen.
Couldn't have put it better. Did you learn all about this in school? Trees making oxygen?
Yeah.
Fantastic. How about yourself?
It will be horrible because it will create more pollution with the cars and vehicles passing.
Yeah, so you care about clean air, do you? Yeah.
I'd be quite upset if Rimrose Valley was destroyed because there's so many beautiful animals here, and like it's like the trees and stuff, like it's just like a good place to just like look at, and you could stay there for a while just looking at the trees.
I would be upset because we come on bike rides here almost often, but now we mostly go on walks.
Yeah, I use it for riding my bike as well, so I'd miss it for that reason. How about anybody else? You at the back?
I would be devastated if Rimrose Valley gets wiped out because it's such a beautiful place to play football and basketball, and no one wants to get ruined.
So it's been a real privilege to come here to Rimrose Valley this morning to meet the local community and the campaigners and the school kids that are really campaigning against this obscene, ridiculous road that would completely destroy this park. And here, looking at this wishing tree, looking at the wishes of the kids to stop this road. I mean, I find it amazing really that we're in 2019 and we're even having to do this. At a time of climate change, the last thing we need are new roads that's going to add just yet more carbon pollution and going to increase traffic. The more roads you build, the more traffic you get. It's as simple as that. But on top of that, this road would of course cut through this community, stop children from visiting their grandparents on the other side, cause massive air pollution that would harm people's health and lives, really ruin people's welfare and well-being, causing mental health problems. All the science of that is very clear. How dare Highways England even conceive of this road in the first place? It's so symbolic of everything that's wrong at the moment with our society and the way roads come before people and the environment. This has to be stopped, and Rimrose Valley has to be saved.